Chapter 61. The other side of the train tracks. Seeing how he was in Harlem now, Michael took a deep breath and felt a little refreshed now that he didn't have to deal with iron monkeys or uptowners or oubliettes with their IRA goons anymore. At least for the moment. Even though he was in a turf he didn't exactly belong in, strangely enough, he felt safer here than he had since entering Manhattan. Well now, I just have to deal with the nymphos, and at least I'm cool with them. Probably would be better if I don't fuck up and make more enemies. Madboy did have a point there. As Michael began heading for the Nympho building, he saw some hoods pull up close in a 77 Cutlass Supreme and eye him long and hard, looking like they were wondering what he was doing here in the wrong turf. And Michael then thought, safer here. What the fuck am I thinking? But then felt like he didn't give two shits considering the night he had had. Fine, what you going to do? Yeah, I know I'm definitely in the wrong turf, a white boy like me in your neighborhood. I ain't armed, but I ain't scared of you assholes either. So go get chased by some Colombian biker gangs, IRA goons, whack jobs dressed in cloaks. But then some psycho CIA operative talking about squeezing motherfuckers' skulls in and shit. And then come talk to me. Michael began eyeing them all wild-eyed as the goons chuckled a bit and drove off. And as they did, they began blasting some of that new music Michael had been hearing. Shit Michael violently hated. Violently. Fuck rap. I hate rap music. I hate it. Michael had been listening to this new stuff, but until now he had no clue how much he hated it so, although he always had those inklings in the back of his mind, telling him he most certainly wasn't going to like it either. As he thought about it for a second, he then came to a constructive reasoning as to how he could stand for his hatred. Well, what can I say? Music is a means of expressing something deep down that can't be grasped simply by words alone. An emotion, a character, a feeling, a story. And if arrogance and being a cocky asshole jackass had a musical genre devoted to everything it represented, it would be that. I mean, music needs a melody, it needs a soul. Rap says, fuck that bullshit, now everyone look at my dick. I mean, I'm a cocky asshole, but I'm really being ironic about it. No way serious, since I know how stupid and silly it all sounds. And that's the joy I get out of it. But then Michael realized how much he was kidding himself. Fine, I get a kick out of it too, sticking it to arrogant jerks by being an arrogant jerk myself, so sue me. But I don't want to see that in music. Now everywhere in the city, this new shit has popped up, this hip-hop whatever, and I can't say anything because everyone will misinterpret it as some racial shit. But the music is so annoying and obnoxious to listen to. As for the whole black issue, fuck, I mean, whatever happened to doo-wop when I was growing up? Some James Brown or some Marvin Gaye shit. Whatever happened to all that stuff? Shit that sounded a lot more uplifting. Also rock and roll, which was originally theirs. Fuck rap. I hate all this senseless and soulless crap everyone listens to now because it gives them a hard-on. And that is its only draw. It's not meant to be uplifting like at least rock and roll is. It truly is a product of today's younger generation, fronting some major attitude and arrogance to gain respect by coming off as all bad and shit. With no heart, no soul, just attitude alone. A bunch of lip noodles wanting to listen to something to straighten out their sausages and go around sticking it in everyone's ear, whether they like it or not. Actually, that's exactly what rap music sounds to me, some wet dick going in and out of my ear. And personally, I like to get kissed before I get fucked like that. Fuck, I hate this music. Fuck, I feel old. And the music Michael noticed those hoods were blasting was some of that even newer shit coming from LA. As for that shit just sounds depressing. Music spilling the tales of the mess that's on the streets, all stoic, hard, angry, miserable, and looking ready to rush at a bunch of pigs screaming fuck the police. Just to end it all by getting sprayed down by a barrage of bullets. I mean, I don't want to hear about crack-infested neighborhoods, hoods doing drive-bys, murdering each other left and right. Things have gone too far. Fuck this LA crap. This music's so depressing to listen to, and music really shouldn't be that way. And really calling themselves gangsters, really? What a barrel of laughs. They must be joking, thought Michael while shaking his head full of ridicule. Jimmy Cagney was a fucking gangster. Edward G. Robinson, Humphrey Bogart were... Okay, they were actors, but still, they at least represented real gangsters. Then there's old Blue Eyes, who's both. But still, representing people that built an empire by way of crime. Al Capone, John Gotti now, and Frank Lucas for black folks. They were real gangsters, not fucking musicians. Which are really what those pretenders from LA really are. Know your place and be content with just being entertainers. And they ain't portraying gangsters either, just two-bit hoods. Trust me, there's a difference. Takes a loser criminal to know a bunch of loser criminals. Michael then frowned at the thought of that. They might have seen some shit, but until you build an empire out of evil like that, you ain't gangster. Takes a certain level of class and charisma and the devil's work to be one. Until you can live with millionaire white-collar criminals in rich neighborhoods. As a blue-collar criminal yourself, you ain't it. Fashioning your children for future in politics. And really, I really don't see any reason to celebrate the real things either. Fuck gangster and rap. Music's supposed to be beyond the cesspool we live in, not be wallowing in it. I already have to deal with arrogant, pompous jerks every day. Like I really want some arrogant, pompous jerk now lamenting to me over his shitty life. Fuck off. And seriously, who the fuck will like that type of crap? Anyhows, I'm guessing most of the fan base ain't even from the crack-infested inner cities. I guess most of them would really be from the suburbs, from lily white neighborhoods, from lily white teenagers, wishing to be all hard since they were raised by faggoty-ass baby boomer parents. You know what it is? It's like mob movies in a way. And I fucking hate mob movies, too. Fuck that Godfather. Fuck Tony Montana. Mobsters are all a bunch of murderers and assholes and everyone loves them. And why? Because their audience is a bunch of dickless losers wishing they could be what they don't have the balls to be. In the end, there is nothing glorious about being a criminal. Balls or not. Being a criminal means you're a complete failure as a human being. Since you couldn't build your world the way you would have really wanted to, you built it the way you really didn't. Not by righteousness, but everything that's the opposite. Doing it the wrong way, the sick way, through sin, through evil. And what fucking glory is there in doing that? What? I ask you, what? In the end, for me, I didn't have the heart to go that far because I had too much of it. Heart, that is. I remember how Stumpy, after ruining my boxing career, came around again and tried to offer me a job roughing up some characters that hadn't been making their payments on time. Trying to turn me into some hired muscle. And I was like, fuck that shit. That ain't my style. I wasn't going to allow those guys to turn me into what they eventually turned my dad into. A fucking murderer. Michael then needed another moment. Fuck, I hate this crap. I could see some stupid upper middle class Yonkers waspy brat. Now he might be really digging into this stupid gangster, really just two-bit hood rap shit. But that's because his parents were dickless hippies, not yuppies, and didn't raise him to be a man. Not the balls to be one, nor the heart it takes to know when what's stepping over the line. So of course he's now enamored by music like this. Of course he is. Of course he'd be. Like the only schmoes I've met that love Cosa Nostra movies and can recite The Godfather by heart have been dickless not made Italians like Stumpy. Fucking wannabes, but can never bees. Since the mob's cutoff point is being at least 6 inches and those poor schmucks came up short. So no legionnaire status for the new Roman army for them. If you like mob movies, this shit here, or anything that deals with romanticizing criminals, you're a dickless loser, and that's all there is to that. And then Michael thought of John Wayne movies and the romanticization of the Wild West and how much he loved that stuff as a kid. And especially now. Fuck me. Fine, ignorance has something to do with it too. And I guess people end up making it out to be like a fantasy, so I guess I ain't all that bad. Plus, I really am just hating right now because those two spooks spooked the shit out of me. I'm just being racist right now.